friends with Gotham on Facebook? Yes. No. Uh, Gotham, he'll have to share it.
Gotham uncle, you're not allowed to come in the bushes.
There's no Gotham uncle. So we have here with us Benny over here. Hi. We have one on this is all cool. We have Louise, we have a bunch of rats, we've got Doyle on the camera, we've got Shiny the cat, we've got Priscilla, and our friend over there. And Benny is here today to tell us about snakes and all the great rescue work you've been doing. Hi, Gotham. Hi. How are you? And so this thing of snakes is not only because of snakes. I don't have any special feelings towards snakes. It's a part of wildlife. It's a part of our environment, and a very important part. Why they are very important is because we all fear them. Now, professionally, I've done my engineering. We have an event management company, but my passion is always with wildlife conservation. Now, when we say wildlife conservation, it's not saving of an individual species per se, but it's saving the environment as a whole. Yeah. And why are we all scared of snakes? What is this fear? Why do we fear snakes? Very important for young kids as well. Like, why do we fear snakes? Why do we fear the darkness? Why do we fear things unknown? Basically, fear is nothing but the absence of knowledge. So when we do not have knowledge about anything, we can get scared of it. Yeah? It's weird that somebody's scared of darkness. Lights go off, people start screaming. Yeah, it's weird. Why? None of us have seen ghosts. Same thing with snakes. I put out a snake, and people start screaming. Yeah? But these fears are all instilled within us. We are not born with any of these fears. Right? Like if I show a small baby, a toddler, a snake, and if her parents are not around, the toddler will come out of inquisitiveness and touch the snake. Whereas if the parents are around, she will get scared. Now, why this happens is because kids and all kids are reading body language more than verbal language. So when they see a subconscious action of the parents, whether the mother screams or whether the mother moves suddenly, they get the fear in them. Yeah. And to support this fear that is instilled in kids, like even if you go to a garden or go to a park, and the parents love wildlife, but what they do is they first say that see the birds chirping so beautifully, see the butterflies are very colorful. But the first thing a kid hears about snakes when they're young is that you see a snake, you need to run away from it. Like do not play in the grass, a snake will bite you. Do not go out in the night without shoes, a snake will bite you. So the first thing you're hearing about a snake before you know about snakes is that snakes bite. Yeah. So they're always associating them to getting bitten by a snake. In spite of all the gods wrapped in snakes and all of that. Exactly. Actually, all these gods wrapped in snakes and all these mythological creatures, we worship snakes now. It's all because of conservation. People try to instill fear through religion to conserve the environment. Yeah, but now it is we worship an idol, but we still kill the live snake. Yeah. So we kill the living god rather than. Well, to bring everyone up to speed, we are actually in Goa, in North Goa, and it's the monsoons. As you can see, it might rain. And even in this very manicured-looking space, we've had rat snakes. There's one huge python up the road that crosses the field once in a while. There's a great maybe, or do you think it's a bull? It could be both snake and nocturnal. So, and both with the same. They're both black with white color bands. Yeah. Now one is venomous and one is non-venomous. So the wolf snakes absolutely fine if get bitten by it. Great is one of the most toxic snakes in India. So again, awareness and knowledge is important. You know how to identify the two based on the markings, at least based on the visual patterns on the snake. What we see around. So it could be either the two. Both of them have the same food source. It could be frogs or lizards. Both of them are nocturnal. Both of them are moving in the night. So we call you especially like the Ghostbusters. A pleasure. Because all the snakes sightings out there are happy to see you guys over there. Yamu observant. And that's the right side. Right? Ninja, come to the front. Hi guys. So guys, if you have any questions as well, just pop them. I'll try and see if I can.
Can you share it on Facebook?
It's done.
On Riverbank.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are The ninjas behind me. I think it's 4. The ninjas. Ben Hill will tell you all about snakes. You have questions? No. You all have questions. Why? Yeah. Why are you all scared of snakes? Tell me first. Why are you all scared? Do we need to be scared of snakes?
Yes.
Tell me. Why? Why are you scared? Because they bite. How do you know that I won't bite you? Why are you not scared of me biting you? Exactly. So this fear has been put into us, that snakes bite. Snakes do not bite. They do not want to bite us. None of us here are afraid for snakes. The snake sees us, the first thing they want to do is run and hide. Yeah, they want to hide from us. But what happens is we got this fear because people have told us snakes bite. Now, when will a snake bite you? Of course, like anything else. If you trouble your friend can scream, your friend can, push you away. A snake, if you trouble a snake, what? The snake can't scream. The snake can't push you away. So the snake can do only one thing, and that is bite. So the last resort of a snake defense is going to be to bite you. So when a snake is going to bite you, only if you stamp it, if you go to catch it, if you go to kill it, then it's going to bite you. Okay? Not the other way.
And it doesn't have arms to push them either.
It has no arms to push you. It has no legs to kick you. Yeah? And it has no legs to run faster than you. No snake can be faster than you. You can run faster than you. Yeah? So the snake is very scared.
Where did you guys see the last snake? You saw one here, right? The champa tree. Who saw the champa? Your mother saw it.
We saw a snake crossing that tree. So that
How do you know it was a rat?
very much like
Like a rat. Look like a rat. Do rat snakes look like rats?
Rat snakes do not look like rats. It's something called a cat snake. It does not look like a cat, but it has a vertical pupil like of a cat. Yeah, it's called a cat snake. Rat snakes normally are said to eat only rats. But interestingly, rat snakes eat everything. They eat birds, they eat eggs, they eat frogs, they eat rats, they eat also other snakes. Yeah, rat snakes eat other snakes. So we call them rat snakes because mostly we feel that they eat rats. Yeah, that's mostly the reason. Now in this garden, you can see a lot of snakes. Very commonly, you see rat snakes, you see bronze-back tree snake. I got a few snakes with me. All these snakes have been rescued today, except for the hatchling. Yeah, but the other snakes all have it today. I mean, rescued today. Yeah. So we have a bronze-back tree snake. You find very commonly. I caught it around 1.5 hours back. It's an adult. We have. You can get rat snakes. You can get cobras here. You can get russell vipers here. There are fields around. So when you see a snake, what do you do?
don't go over this snake, you go the opposite.
Yeah. So when you see a snake, as you said rightly, do not go towards the snake, go away from the snake. But I would like to say, if you see a snake, stop and admire it. Okay, the snake is not going to do any harm to you. Just stay
And
1 meter
also-
away from the
And
snake.
especially
Yeah.
if the snake is bitten you, you should remember the colors of it so that
You can tell somebody to help identify it. But again, when you see a snake, do not go to catch it or touch it. Never do it. Never do it. It's
Vani
not important.
almost touched that snake. She thought it was an earth. But
Mistakes
I went,
happen.
I saw it and then I knew it was a snake.
So snakes is very easy to identify. Huh?
Should we test to see what they do with like a real snake, with the serial snake? I mean, there's all talk the ninjas and try to be very, brave and
Yeah.
all of that.
I'll show you a few snakes.
Okay, let's check it out.
So I'll show you a small snake. I mean, I've got around 2 or 3 snakes that I've rescued today itself. They'll be released as soon as I finish showing you all. And let me show you a common snake that you find in this garden here. Yeah? Actually, it was found in a similar garden in a lawn space. Okay. So now snakes, when we rescue them, we generally never go to touch them or hold them or display them, but we put them in the bag because why? Because they can breathe through the bag more easily, and we release them as soon as possible. Now, unfortunately, I caught this snake in a place like this with a lot of flats and a building area, and the colony, the society, did not want me to release the snake in the same place. Yeah, but it's important when we see a snake, let it be there. Or even if we have to rescue it from somebody's house, leave it outside your house as close to where it was found. Yeah, because snakes also have their home, right? Like you take you for example, and you leave you far away in a jungle, you will not be happy about it, right? So we should not do the same about snakes. We need to learn to live in harmony. Yeah, to live in harmony, first thing, we should remove our fear. We should not get scared of them. Yeah, and at the same time, we need to respect them, respect all wildlife. So when you respect something, you will not go and trouble it. You will not go to touch it. You will not go to poke it. Yeah, many small kids I've seen, unlike you, they'll go take a stick and they'll poke a snake or they'll poke a dog. It's bad.
What?
Yeah, that's really
Terrible.
bad.
You guys do that stuff? Pinky promise.
So now this is a small snake. At the same time, it's an adult snake.
But is it a teenager?
It is not a teenager, it's a fully grown adult. Really fast. And this snake was again on a bush, very close to somebody's window. Okay, and they insisted I remove it from there. Now this snake is called a bronze back tree snake in common language. In English,
That is bad.
all snakes bite because they're going to get scared, right?
That
Now why it's called a bronze back tree snake? Because it's got a bronze color back and it moves on the trees. It's a tree snake. Okay. If you leave it on the tiles, it cannot move very fast. But if you leave it in a tree, it's going to be moving really fast. You won't get a hold of it. Now, what can you see coming out of the mouth of the snake? A tongue. What is
What?
the tongue coming out?
mm,
What is it doing with the tongue?
trying to bite.
No, it's not trying to bite. Okay.
Do
The
you
snake
bite
right
with
now
your
just
tongue?
wants to run. But what is it doing with the tongue? It's tasting the air. Basically, it's smelling with the tongue. Yeah, because it takes the scent particles from the air and analyzes them. Okay, that's how it smells with the tongue. So the tongue keeps coming out. Yeah. Now this snake was caught like 1.5 hour back and will be released as soon as I.
But what
Finished off.
amazing colors it has, huh?
Yeah, you can see the underscale is blue color, so it keeps inflating the underscale. Now the entire body of the snake, if you see, keeps inflating and deflating. That is because snakes have a long lung. They
Like
have
you guys breathe, right? Like you go,
Yes.
and your lungs become big, your chest.
one long lung they have that keeps inflating and deflating. So what happens if you poke a snake? There are high chances you will poke its lung, and when the lung gets punctured, the snake will die. Yeah? Now when you see a snake, the snake is just trying to move away, right? It does not want to bite me. It does not want to stay. It just wants to run away. Yeah, and that's what it will do. In a short while after the video is over, I'm going to release this. And now another thing about the
will you
snake,
release it?
Sorry, what?
Where will you release it?
I'll leave it in a place very close to where it was found, but where people cannot see me releasing it. Yeah, because that's where it's got to stay, right? It's got to live in our society around us. What is going to do the snake? There's no harm to human beings. It will only eat. It will eat lizards. It will eat frogs. It will eat small things that move, small rats. Yeah, it is. Everything is harmless until you provoke it. Yeah. Now it is non-venomous. Yeah. So that means that if it bites, by chance you press it or you stamp it and it bites you, nothing will happen. A small drops of blood you'll see, but it has no venom. It is non-venomous. Yeah.
So is there a way to tell if a snake is venomous or not venomous?
For the common man, the only way to tell is by looking at the snake's pattern on the body and the shape of the snake. Now many people say the snake is triangular headed, it is venomous. That's not the way you do it. We'll stick to pattern on the body. Like for example, a Russell Viper, it has oval shaped markings on the back. The python has random patches on the back. This snake has got a bronze back, with a kind of a silver belly. Yeah. So that's how you recognize the snake. Okay. Then
Let's
if
test one more test. सुशीला जी, ये जहर वाला सांप है कि बिना जहर वाला? पास से देख लो,
पास आ जाओ फोन रख लो
थोड़ा पास.
Soft होगा.
क्या लगता
मेरे को नहीं
snake scales are smooth
है?
generally.
आपका
do
आपका
this.
मन क्या बोल रहा है? क्या लगता है सांप देख के? क्या हो सकता है?
मेरे को जहर वाला नहीं लगता।
जहर वाला नहीं लग रहा.
नहीं मैं पहली बार देखी हूँ ये वाला।
हाँ,
Can I find
ये
that?
पेड़ वाला सांप है.
How can they tell?
So the way to tell is the patterns on the body.
So what I'll do is I'll leave you a brochure with all the venomous snakes. There's just 4 venomous snakes that you'll find here. One is a crate, one is a Russell Viper, a cobra, and a saw-scale viper. If you learn to identify these 4 snakes, the other snakes that you'll find in this area will all be non-venomous. Now, unless you go into Western Ghats, then there'll be humpnose spit vipers, king cobras, various other vipers, but they don't interact with us on a daily basis. The snakes that you'll find your venomous snakes are just 4 venomous. Yeah, I'll
Only-
share you that image.
Only 4 snakes you have to remember, okay?
It looks more black here.
It's beautiful, though, isn't it? It's very beautiful. And you see how where they move? No hands, no legs. They just glide easily. All snakes can, swim very well. They can move on land. Many snakes can, glide from one tree to another. Even this snake glides a bit, but there is something called a gliding tree snake or a flying tree snake, ornithine tree snake. They say it flies. It doesn't have wings or feathers to fly.
Flying snake, you guys have to make drawings of all this stuff, okay?
So it just flattens the body and it glides from one tree to
Can you
and
say
then it
that again?
flies. So flying tree snake doesn't fly, doesn't have wings. It flattens its body and it jumps from one branch to the next. And with that aerodynamic body shape, it flies. Very beautiful.
Kind of like floating a piece of paper,
Have
maybe.
you
It's
seen
drop- How was that? Who remembers the name of that snake? The one you just saw. Rattlesnake. What was the color of the back? No, rattlesnake. What was the color? He's asking, what was the color of the brown? It's called bronze. Bronze. So it's called bronze back. Tree snake. Moves on trees. Yeah. Awesome. So you will be releasing this bronze back soon. As soon as they're done with this, I'm gonna lift it here itself, but then the society will not agree with having snakes around. Not everyone is open-minded. So once awareness creates, so our intention is to save a species or the environment. We can't do it as individuals. The entire society has to. Yeah, so these awareness programs, sharing awareness about snakes and about other wildlife is very important. Once the message spreads, then people learn to live with animals and wildlife and other creatures that share our environment. That's when we will achieve something in life. So we need to learn to live in harmony with them. Harmony means प्यार से एकता. Then what happens after that? सब भूल गए.
Explain to these guys why you understand.
So I'm also on Instagram for our audience over there, and that's the YouTube audience. There, you guys can wave at each other actually. Strange time. And let's show them the eggshell. Maybe they can try and guess what came out of it. You guys eat eggs? अंडा खाते हो?
Tell me if I
क्या
get
यदि
too
आप भी अंडा
close.
खाते हो? अंडा से क्या निकलता है? किसका अंडा होता है वो? मुर्गी का अंडा. ये मुर्गी का अंडा है.
What kind of snake is it?
You can
Look
see
at
this
this.
eggshell,
Doesn't look like an egg.
but come close and see this eggshell. Notice the eggshell. Touch it. It's hard. It has become hard now. Normally they're like hard leather. Okay? They're flexible. Like if you drop this, it will not crack. Now there's nothing in the eggshell. Not like a chicken egg. Not like a chicken egg also. You can see they all have an opening. These are empty. They're empty. The babies have come out. So let me tell you the story about these. I'll tell you a small story. Okay, hear the story. So I'll tell you. So somebody gave me a call. They said we have found something that looks like eggs, but they're not bird eggs because they look odd. And this was happening at a construction site. They were building a building. Now they said these eggs, while digging, they happened to see a hole and they found a clutch of eggs. There were around 10 eggs. Now, out of those 10 eggs, most of them broke while they were digging. Yeah, I recovered 5 eggs. So when I went and I saw them, I recognized and said these are snake eggs. And because of few past experiences, I knew that these eggs belong to a snake called a rat snake. I will, yeah, you know a rat snake. It's called a devoured in Konkani. Now devoured. Now all snakes when they're born, some come upon live from the mothers, but most snakes lay eggs, and then they before the eggs hatch, the mother leaves the egg. Yeah, I will show you that. Yeah, yeah,
There's a
small one. Wow. That's a snake. Is it venomous?
It's not a
Are you sure? So before we kill it, let's try to lift it up. Barney, use your tongue to lift it up.
No.
Why? Don't crush it. Don't crush it. You'll crush it. So Barney loves poking and it will do this.
She doesn't
Oh,
like
see,
poking
yeah,
insects. She likes
touching
saving.
them
Yeah, touching.
with what?
And saving
Can
them.
you-
Finger. Yeah, sticks. That's called
And
poking. When you touch with a stick, it's called poking.
No, not with sticks. Sometimes
Then?
with her hand. If she
Then?
doesn't know what insect it is, then she touches it. Then
See, this is a rescue operation happening right here. Spotted by. But goes back in the grass. They probably belong. Catch and release. That's the best way. See, that's how rescue. Keep them at their home. See, that's the same thing with snakes. So now I took these eggs home because the mother wasn't there. The mother does not have these eggs either. I took them home and I kept them, in a nice incubator that I made at home. And I hatched eggs with them. Python eggs, rat snake eggs. It's an artificial environment where I control in a container. It helps snakes eggs hatch.
It's a warm, cozy room where the eggs
Humidity has to
can
be
hatch.
high. Now, very interesting is when a baby
Very
bird is coming
questions?
out of an egg, they peck the eggshell and they crack the eggshell. Yeah. But a snake, what it does, it has an egg tooth. It has one small tooth that comes out, pointing outwards, and it keeps cutting the egg. That's why when you see these cracks, they're all cuts in the eggshell, and that's how the snake comes out.
So that means all snakes have one.
Egg tooth as soon as they're born, but as in 12 to 15 hours, that egg tooth falls out. Yeah, it falls out. Yeah. So
So the egg gets stuck together.
yes,
They have
yes. Now, when the snakes come out from the egg, they just stay around where they are born till they leave and shed their skin. All snakes shed skin. It's called molting.
Yeah, I've
Yeah?
got some.
So
I
when a
think it's a rat skin, but I've got.
Great activity happening with the back also.
Dog and
Brownie and
cat.
shiny.
Yeah, but they are friends.
Yeah. So when a snake is born and when they're about to molt, they can't see very clearly. So they shed their first skin and then they go and they can start hunting. So these snakes that I have here, they have hatched from eggs. They've taken 58 days to hatch. Okay, 58 days to hatch, and now they have shed their skin. They just shed their skin yesterday. So today they'll be released. I'm releasing these snakes on the way to release them actually. Now have a look at them. Yeah, there are 4 snakes. Yeah, you'll be able to see the skin as well inside. Now you will see there is a stone kept there. The stone is meant for what? The snakes can rub their skin against it and shed their skin and mold. So that helps them to mold. Yeah, there was a small water container which I just removed. Yeah, let's not disturb them too much. Yeah, you can see. So this is the mold. This is the skin. Yeah, they've all shed their skin. You can see the young ones there.
But I
White, bright colors of a rat snake.
Why they all gathered together? This is a rat snake.
Because they like to be together right now for the comfort of each other. Because it's a very strange environment. But as soon as we leave them, they will go all their separate paths. No, those are just insects, and that is soil. I'm not.
Caterpillar poop. There's a lot of caterpillar poop as well.
Yeah, you see this mold?
Ask
This
me
is-
what this.
These are rat snake skin. Yeah? If you look carefully at the eyes, of this mold, you will be able to see the eye length. It's basically a hard scale. Yeah, you can see
I
here.
can't see the eye.
Yeah, you can see the scales.
Oh,
These 2
yeah.
eyes here.
Oh, yeah.
So
How
snakes.
soon do they molt after?
Yeah.
It
So
means like taking clothes off.
when they're born, they mold within 3 to 8 days. Yeah, but
Oh.
when they're adults, they mold after every 2.5 to 3 months, depending on their health. Now you see why when you see a snake, you don't know whether it's happy or it's sad. It does not have any eye expression. The eyes are always open. Even when they're sleeping, the eyes are open. Why? They don't have eyelids because the eye lens, which you can see here, is a hard, transparent scale. Yeah. So when they're shedding and molting, they shed that lens also, that scale.
You don't know if they're sleeping or not.
Right now, we unless you touch them and you see them moving. So when they're sleeping, they don't close their eyes. Basically, that's what I want to say. Yeah. So we do not know when they're sleeping or not.
Are these rat snakes?
Why do you think snakes shed their skin? Why do you shed their skin? This one under your foot. That's it. Come.
There.
That's a hanger. Are these rat snakes?
Yeah, these are young rat snakes.
So
Can I touch their body?
you can.
Wait,
So
Now
slow.
remember,
Remember, it's not toys.
it's scared. Okay, you're a foreign person to it. It's scared of you. So once it calms down a little, then you feel have gotten scared and made on my hands.
Ah.
That's okay. All right.
Can be tasted.
You can. Okay. So what's next?
Yeah.
Let them calm down.
I'm holding it. When you look at a snake, never touch the back. It's soft. Is it slimy? No. Is it liquidy? No. It's very smooth. Do you know why its pattern is so beautiful right now? Because it just shed its skin. And it sheds its skin to grow. So that's how these kind of reptiles, they grow, so they shed, they grow, they shed, they grow.
Oh,
And
because
that's how
their
they get
other
bigger and
skin
bigger
was
and bigger.
small and
Yes,
then they
correct,
know the
correct.
tongue is black.
Yes. So right now, this snake is smelling with its tongue. So it has a very different organ. It's called a Jacobson's organ. So the tongue goes out, picks the particles, puts it back in the mouth, and then that tells the snake what's around. Inside the mouth.
And it takes the smell from the air and puts it back in
Picks the
there.
particle, puts it back, and then it senses what's around. It's right now sensing. It's trying to understand, yeah, what are you? What are you?
Asking for some reaction.
Predator.
So what do you guys think, guys? What do you think of the baby rat snakes? Do they all look the same, you think? You know what I noticed? Snakes don't have ears. You think that's true?
What do you think, guys?
So they can't hear at all?
But they sense vibrations.
If you stand, do not step on them. They can feel the ground.
Yeah,
moving.
they feel vibrations.
So they go back in. They don't come out.
They sense vibrations and they can see the picture.
They're really pretty. And so fast, weren't they fast?
Yeah.
So what
And
just
one
happened,
was
Gautam, for
the
audiences?
other way.
You and explain it.
So we had an exciting moment as for Karan's also from the complex, and he also viewed numerous snakes.
This is a rat snake.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh.
I completely lost track of that.
Oh, no worries. You're also live on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn.
So what happened, Gautam? What just happened? What was all the excitement?
So we were looking at
Hatchling.
hatchlings, hatchlings, and as we opened them, and they were like, "This is it. This is our moment of freedom." So four of them kind of came out, went in different directions. Benel got one there, one went towards the kid, obviously completely harmless, as you can see. One went behind my shoe.
So they're very delicate. Yeah. You always support them from the bottom. Okay. Always support from the bottom. Never press the backbone because the backbone is a very delicate part of the snake. If you press the backbone and you break the backbone, that's it. The snake is dead. Okay. So whenever you hold a snake, if you press it, he will feel threatened and he might bite. You always support it from down. Always. Whenever supporting a snake, always support it from down.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
But
Also,
always
never go to touch the head of the snake.
Because
Yeah,
that's
the head is also very sensitive part of the snake and it gets
I'll
very
get my
defensive.
hand still and then.
and never try to touch it without a grown up not around.
Never touch the snake. There's never need to touch the
Never
snake.
touch a snake.
Let it be on its own.
It's nice to see them from far.
It's nice to just watch them. Wildlife never.
I think it'll be really nice for audiences to see.
Rita, that's okay. Can I have the pineapple?
For sure. There you go. Yeah, just put your hands down. Let him walk on your hands.
I'm going to name this snake Squeezy.
No.
Yeah.
So see, I'm keeping a gap. I'm not pressing his backbone.
Yeah.
Keeping a nice gap.
And he's very
It's very gentle. It's very, very gentle with you. And the snake is scared of you too. Right? Always from down. Always from down.
it's 4 years. 4 years.
It's okay. Always from down. Yeah. And if he moves, just let him move. Don't worry. Don't get scared.
So I'm not squeezing it. I'm not trying to hold it back. It keeps moving wherever, right? And it's so cute that it's much cuter than you.
So see now,
Everything can
baby
move both
snakes
ways.
are cute.
Even snakes
Puppies
can
are
move,
cute.
but they're a little slow. Every animal can
So
move
is
back.
there a way to tell if this is a boy or a girl?
It's a little difficult because it's young, but you need to check the. They normally have small spurs, and what I normally tell people, like many people say, the bigger snakes, they are the males. But when it comes to reptiles, generally, not always, the females are the ones which are bigger and have a bigger girth. And also the snake, the tail of the female snake is shorter than the tail of the male snake. Now, what is the tail? The entire snake is like a tail. Yeah, like from the anal opening till the tip of the tail. Males are longer than the lead compared to the female. So these are too small. And to check snakes at 100% whether they're male or female, you need to do something called probing, where you put a probe into the snake. Now that is it's a probe. It's a metal kind of a rod with a small tip which is like a ball. That you have to slide into the snake, which is not very nice. The snake does not like it. So only for research purposes we do it. Yeah? Or just by seeing the size of the snake in reference to other snakes that you have experienced, you know whether it's male or female. You rescued another very special animal which I love, and we see them around all the time, and they sound like this. Can you guess which animal is it? Huh? Good guess.
What did you say?
Yeah, and then unfortunately, you see so many of them hanging dead on the wire. On the wires, that really, it's very sad because they're going by echolocations and they can't sense the wire. And when both the wings hit the two different wires, and that's it. Sorry, they don't know. Yes, yes. So I'll just show you that small patch. Okay. Now this part, sad story again. Unfortunately, most of the stories I have are sad initially till they get happy. Yeah? So now, now this is. Do you like feeling sad, Benin? No, not at all. So now this bat again, it was caught by a domestic cat. Now domestic cats, as much as we love cats, what happens? They're invasive. They go out, they catch birds, they catch lizards, they play with them, kill them, and leave them. Now this is another victim of the cat. Okay? Cats are introduced. The cat's not bad. Human beings are bad for bringing the cats and leaving them free.
Yeah, even the cat that you see, the cute one here, she's killed like skinks and whatever she finds.
It's alive.
Bunny?
Now,
Bunny?
now do not touch
down.
it. Do not come close.
Okay, sit down.
Okay, why I'm saying not to come close? This bat does not spread coronavirus. Yeah, it does not have any virus to spread, but it will get a little scared. Yeah? So bats are not carriers of viruses, especially this one, as they say. Now all animals they have kind of diseases and can spread infections and viruses. So we should never handle them on our own unless we know what we're doing. Secondly, when they bite, of course, the dogs very commonly spread rabies, for example. Yeah, that's why I never go and play with a dog you do not know. Leave them as they are. Even bats could be carriers of things like rabies. And hence, I'm saying stay away from animals. Do not touch them. They're not bad. They're serving their purpose here. Pollination, controlling of insects. You see the small guy? Very cute. Yeah.
Oh my god, he is
Super
very
cute.
I think he's cuter than the rat snakes.
Now this is a male. It's a small dog-faced fruit bat. It's a fruit bat, so they become pretty big. Yeah. So it's very sad that this is a small fruit bat, a dog-faced fruit bat, and they eat fruit obviously when they grow big. And besides fruit, they also eat insects. Yeah. Now, sadly, this bat was caught by a cat. Yeah.
He's lucky.
Cat's
Chew it
amazing
up.
predator. There is a small punch on it which I'm monitoring.
Mm.
It does not look deep, but I do not know if it has internal injury. So I will observe it for another 1 day or two and see how it feels. Also, I'll be feeding it and giving it proper vitamins and stuff like that, and let's see how it goes. Yeah. Now they like the dark, so we hold it back in. You seen how it's hanging? That's how they hang on their mother's belly normally. Yeah.
Then they sleep in the morning.
They're nocturnal, so
But
they
where
do
is
sleep
their
in the
mother?
morning. I
They're
have
allowed
no
to
idea.
stay up at night.
They're night party animals. Yeah. And what do they eat? That this is food not normally, but also insects, rodents, yeah, small snakes, very rarely, but they do catch snakes. But mostly fruits and insects.
Do they love
They love fruits. They love insects like moths. Yeah, moths also nocturnal, so they eat a lot of moths.
Is it dangerous for humans to eat a fruit which has been eaten or bitten by a bat?
Uh, there are two schools of thought. If I have eaten fruits that have been eaten by bats and I'm still alive, yeah, again, it's a lot of hygiene is involved. Whether you really want to take the risk of eating it.
But very often you might not know because
Exactly.
they just eat it
Exactly.
from bed
They
and
just
leave it
leave
on
it
the
and
tree
leave.
and you don't know it.
There might be so many fruit that look good on the outside but have been touched by bats. But I don't think there's much of harm. But again, we always have to be hygienic and take precautions. And might as well not eat it. Either you cut it off or not eat it. Because as I said, all wild animals they do have bacteria and viruses that they carry. Not necessarily harmful to human beings, but you don't want to take the risk. Yeah. There is another snake that I could show you. Yeah. I'll show you another snake that again I got only one egg. There was a python. It's a baby python. Now pythons lay a lot of eggs, but all the eggs were spoiled because of again construction workers. So somebody gave me just one egg, and then luckily that one egg has hatched. Okay, and I've got a young python with me called an Indian rock python. Now they say pythons eat human beings. Is that true? They don't eat human beings. Yeah, they don't eat. They're not a source of prey for them. Okay? They will not choose to eat us others.
Pythons bite.
Pythons do bite. They give you a nasty bite. Yeah, they can tear your skin, but they're not venomous. You'll bleed a lot, but they do not inject any venom. How do pythons kill their prey? By coiling around the prey. Like for example, a baby python will come and wants to eat a rat. He'll catch the rat with its mouth. The rat will get stuck in its mouth because the teeth are all curved inside. And then he'll coil around the rat. By coiling around the rat, what happens? Two things happen. One is blood flow stops. The flow of blood stops. It stops the circulation of. And secondly, it suffocates the animal. Okay, the lungs collapse and it can't breathe. So because of suffocation and because of stopping of the flow of blood, the animal dies. Once the animal dies, then it eats it alive. Then it eats it whole. Yeah. Once the animal is dead. Yeah. So I'll just show you a small python now. Now these rat snakes, this python, in the next few minutes, are all being released. This python hatched last night. Yeah. So it is just 1 day old. You could say. It's a little late for hatching the pythons, but yeah, this is the last of the lot that probably hatched. It's really young, much younger than you.
1 day.
1 day.
Baby.
Yeah, of course I did see it hatch. Very beautiful.
Wait, I'm back sooner than normal because
How do you know
there's a baby python as well.
How do you know which bag has
Oh, good question. Good question. But
What was the question?
which bag has which snake? Yeah. First of all, I know that they are all non-venomous snakes. And secondly, by just feeling the snake, I can know
Welcome
what
back.
snake it is.
So
because of
what
the
happened was
size of the snake.
we had a baby python, like super cool because we have pythons around here.
Okay.
So how old is this python?
This python is just a day old. It's just a day old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was hatched last night. It will be released right now.
So it hatched in your incubator.
Yes. It was a single egg. I didn't get a cut of egg. Yeah.
So
Well, do not touch the snake because pythons, they're not very docile. They're more, they're not very comfortable being handled. Yeah. And if it bites, nothing will happen. Yeah. But it will hurt a little bit.
like a pinch.
Yeah.
Bad pinch.
Does this look like a 1 day old baby?
That's a day old, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a day old.
Wow.
So
how
human
did
babies.
they fit in the egg? It's so
Yes, good
Yeah.
question. So they're well coiled up in the eggshell. Yeah. Now see, even those rat snakes, they're quite big to fit in a small egg like that, right?
Try and make yourself as small as you can. Can you coil yourself up? How small can you get? Let me see. How would you do it? Come on.
We won't trouble him further, right? We'll put him back in.
You've
Yeah.
seen a human
You'll open
baby?
your bag, the bag for me. Come on, open the
Yeah.
bag for me. Just hold it open. Yes. Let me talk.
Towards A block.
Oh,
Now he's going to be comfortable, and in another half an hour, he'll be out in the wild, and nature will be its teacher. Everything it's going to learn from nature, and hopefully one day this python will grow up to be a big giant, like 3 meters, 3.5 meters long. Yeah. Right now it's small.
You have Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
Guys, I have a question. Can you, like, if you get a 1 day old baby, can you just leave it out and it fends for itself? It finds its food. No, you can't do that. with a
Oh yeah,
human
I'm
baby.
good.
But with a python, you can just leave this 1 day old python and it's good to go. Why is that?
Because they feel really scared.
But he hasn't eaten for so many days. He's been in his eggshell. How is he so strong and fit? Why do you? I'm just asking. Do you know why?
So it is made.
So basically, I leave them in any green area.
So what's happened is the baby
We need to live a bit then.
in an egg, have an egg.
So cool, yeah. Thanks a lot. I think
You're most welcome.
that was fun. Remember, no touching snakes.
maybe
You just have to
do
know.
a roundup of
He doesn't need to eat. He's good with it.
Yes. Don't catch them. Catch them like only if it's stuck in your house, it's stuck in a fishing net. Only then you need to catch them and release them. Otherwise, just let them be. Let them be where they are. They're serving their purpose.
But you have to tell grown-ups what are the things you learned today. Name one thing that you learned today.
What did you learn?
Russell's.
Russell's?
I learned that
Russell's
you don't
Viper,
need
yeah.
to be scared of
Sorry, say
snakes.
again.
Very nice.
I learned that you don't need to be scared of snakes.
You?
And I also
Okay, name a
learned
snake.
that snakes
Yeah,
only
go.
bite
Say
you
no.
if you try to
Say
harm
no.
them. But I did know that, but also
Sorry, what?
Okay, which was your favorite snake today?
Which
So,
one?
so we saw the bronzeback tree snake. The first one, do you remember? It was really cool. It had that blue.
but I love it.
You love all of them.
You don't love
That's
the
good to hear.
bag. But that is really cute.
But I have to say that Python was just way cool. I had no
Very beautiful. I think
amazing. And your photo, which you put on the poster, the blue
the blue scales.
Amazing.
That's just the way the light falls on it and the way it reflects, right? It's amazing.
So would it still happen with the Python that's a day old, or it's like completely new?
We have it right in the night. No, that was a day old as well.
That was also a
picture
day
which I put out was a day old as well. But releasing it, we had two torches hanging in both directions. The light was amazing on it.
I would have thought a day old Python is maybe like this big. Wow. Wow. Okay, great. So thank you guys for joining in. Thank you, Karan. Sorry, but this will be live. This will be there on YouTube and Facebook, so you can catch up with all the information.
Maybe the top things. Wrap it up for people. Let him do it.
So the top 5 things or 3 things for people if they see a snake. What do you think they should do?
First of all, if you see a snake, stand there, admire it, do not touch it. If it comes into your house, then you can call the forest department. There's so many numbers available. Just dial the police, dial 100, call the forest department. Or if you call 100, they will direct you to the forest department. They will come, they will pick up the snake. If you see it in your garden, just let it be. Do not touch it. Just let it do its thing. And second thing is remove the fear as much as possible from all the people around us. Because if you remove the fear, you start admiring them. If you admire snakes, then you can conserve them. So how do you admire snakes and remove the fear? By spreading knowledge about snakes. Yeah.
By not scared.
Then the
Also, if you be scared,
then the third
the
thing,
snake will
yes,
also think that you're gonna
Yes.
hurt it because
Yes.
you're scared.
yes. The third very important thing is that if you're bitten by a snake, by chance you're trekking, you're bitten by a snake, what do? Yeah. First of all, inform your parents that you've been bitten by a snake. Call an ambulance, go to hospital. Do not do anything. Do not get scared. Like people get scared because they're bitten by a snake, and then because of that, many times they die faster than they would normally have survived. Yeah. Because remain calm. Do not panic. Do not cut it. Do not suck it. Do not